My bikini fell apart right in front of my crush. Hello, my name is Alex. By the way, it's not me. I'm here, and this is my crush image. He is Michael, who has just moved into the same class as me. To be honest, I completely fell in love with Mike at first sight. A warm, gallant, and even handsome guy. I can't control this feeling right now whenever I mention him. But I still confess to Mike just because it happened 2 days ago. The story is so embarrassing that I wish the ground would swallow me up. I'm going to tell you about the first time I met Mike. In my PE class, as usual, Demi, my best friend, and I would linger around the basketball court to watch his boyfriend Nick playing football. Because she was my best friend, I couldn't help but wait with her. Demi used to tease me that if I had been usually here with her, I would meet the love of my life. Surely I didn't believe it until that fateful basketball flew toward me. Before I could panic, from somewhere did a tall friend with his tan skin push the ball to me. My heart at that moment seemed to explode. I had never seen him before. When I was panicked, the boy made a sunny smile and asked me if I was okay. At that moment, I didn't know how to answer because of embarrassment. Demi saw that and said, "Thank him for me." Only when he left, I began to feel regret. Just like that, he had been running through my head all day. Perhaps Mike and I had been destined like in the movies. The next day, my class had a new member, and unsuspiciously, it was him who helped me with basketball. And from then on, I saw him every day, so love has kept growing. Demi advised me to stay out, but I was afraid, and the fear of unrequited lovers was hundreds of thousands. As the day passed, I could see him, sometimes chatted with him. Mike also helped me with many things that made us closer, and also I knew there were many girls in my class who noticed Mike. Perhaps that was why I decided to take a risk. I was planning to confess to Mike the day the whole class went on a picnic. On that day, we would go swimming, and I would stand out at that party. I asked Demi to go and buy bikinis with me. We tried many bikinis on, and Demi advised us to wear daring clothes and said it was her love experience because men love with their eyes. And after a few selections, we also chose a suit like that for the important day. The buckle was a bit loose, but it's the only outfit I felt like. I decided to choose it. And perhaps that was the worst decision of my life. Our class went on a picnic at a hot spring. Looking at him, my face turned red. Demi even laughed at me. She called me to a corner, told me something I couldn't hear because I was still thinking about Mike. I just went on and got over it and told her to trust me. Demi and his boyfriend went out to the other places. I didn't want to bother her because of my business, so I would fight alone. I thought for a while and then decided just to go to the hot bath to relax, and then thought about the next step. The feeling of immersing in the hot spring was so comfortable. In my mind at that time, I could not think of anything except the image of Mike and I enjoying comfort together. The more I thought, the more I could not hide the smile. While imagining everything, I suddenly felt relief. The feeling that only women understand, especially when returning home, taking off underwear and lying on the sofa. It's comfortable. I froze for a few seconds and then looked down and realized that my piece of bikini came off. If you want to ask me what my feelings were, please don't because I don't know how to describe it either. Just panic, just unexpected, just humiliating shame. I should have chosen a bikini that was definitely stronger. I sat down as low as I could so that no one could see the situation at that time, but luckily there was smoke from the hot water that could help cover me up. I gently moved there and prayed that no one would notice me. This was the time I needed Demi the most, but she wasn't here, and also my phone, and now I could not ask anyone because the whole class was crowded, and I was unable to leave this position to ask for help. At first, I was confused and gradually afraid. Sometimes people make fun of me and say I stood as an autistic person. I was just afraid they would come to me, and heaven and earth, I didn't know what to do anymore. I just stood still and prayed, wishing Demi would hurry back. I wished the whole class swam up to let me have a chance to leave. I didn't even dare to find out what Mike was doing, and also looked at anyone because I was afraid they would start a conversation. A lot of panicked thoughts popped into my mind, and I even panicked that the smoke was suddenly coming out. Am I about to be exposed? I shouted in my head. My face muscles were stiff, and my arms tried to cover my body. Now my life could be in such a miserable situation. If I were to be exposed, then I would definitely become a longtime joke of my classmates. I even prepared psychologically and had to stay at that time. But heaven still hasn't cut down on my passive life, thank God. The smoke in the lake was back, I was so glad and almost cried. While feeling joyful in my heart, I spotted a figure approaching me. The smoke was too thick and obscured the view. I didn't know who it was, so frightened I could just sink into the water, hoping people would leave. While in the water, I heard a voice. "Alex, are you okay?" I raised my head and it was Mike. I didn't know whether to be happy or sad in this situation. I kept on saying nothing. Mike continued saying that he saw me standing there for a long time. At this point, maybe only Mike could help me, I thought, and I decided to tell everything to him. I was even determined in my head that my love would disappear for that day, but there was no choice. I could not stand there forever. I caught a glimpse of Mike's confusion after listening to me. He just hesitated to say wait for him a moment. I bowed and waited for Mike. A few minutes later, my crush came back with a towel in his hand. He turned away and just took the towel toward me. I didn't think much, just grabbed the towel and wrapped myself and went up. After changing my clothes and calming down, I started to feel shy and ashamed. Oh my God, how am I going to face him? And I kept avoiding Mike until today. I'm so bad, I should have thanked him, but I couldn't say anything. Wait for me a little bit? Oh, Mike, why are you here? Ah, I see you avoid me not knowing what is wrong, so I came here to ask you. Are you free to drink coffee? Of course. Goodbye, I have to go with Mike here. I'll tell you guys what happens later.